You're all set to start.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Town of Newington, John Wallace Middle School Project Building Committee. It is August 15th. It is 5:50 p.m. Lauren, could you do the roll call, please?
Chairman Woods,
Here.
Joe Harpy.
He's here,
Joe,
but
can you hear us?
he's muted.
Sean Holleran,
Here.
Dave Nagel,
Here.
Tim Newton,
Here.
and Kim Rada.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is public participation. And I believe we have no one, correct? Yes, no
Correct.
one's in there. Next item is take action on prior meeting minutes. Did you send them? Because I can't find them. Lauren.
You know what? I may not have because I had yesterday off and I intended on sending them last night when I got home. I don't think I did.
All right, we'll just
we can put this off to the next one.
Yeah, we'll do it at the next meeting then. So our next item is 5. It's review RFP, RFQ responses and set the interview schedules for those responses. So again, we received 5 architectural responses, 3 CM responses, and 2 OPMs, owners project manager responses. And at our last meeting, our goal was we were going to interview all the CM, the 2 OPM, and we were going to narrow down the architects from 5 to 3. So hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to kind of look at that list and review it and make some recommendations. Anybody care to go first? If not, I will. Nobody else wants to. All right. Go ahead, Sean.
I'll go just for the architects. My forerunner is Collier. I think that's the one that I like the most.
Yeah, there is no architect for Collier though.
Oh wait, then what did I?
Fryer?
Yes, thank you.
Fryer. Okay. Now, Fryer was a contender with Anna Reynolds. They made a very good presentation when they were making their pitch to try to do Anna Reynolds, but Castle Booth won out in the end. So Fryer is your #1 pick.
Fryer is my #1. Collier was opium. That's where I got that from.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about you need 2 more for architect?
Kind of. They all are on the. I got a front runner, and then everybody else is second. So I need a little bit discussion for that.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to go?
I'll go, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, Quisenberry Arcari, we had a different relationship with. I'll leave it at that when we built the town hall. But I understand this is a separate division of that firm.
Yeah, this would be Rusty Malik, who used to be with Castle Booze. He would be the lead.
Who that is?
Yeah, he would be the lead principal.
I'm just recommending that I would not select them as part of the interview process for numerous reasons, which I've stated to them during the course of the construction. Nothing in the malfeasant situation, but just we had some issues. So leave it at that. And the rest of them are pretty competitive. And I would concur with the previous speaker in terms of support.
Okay.
On the, is that it on that category? You want us to jump around?
Well, no, because the other ones, we're gonna just interview everybody because there's so few.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So it's really the architect, we needed to narrow it down to 3. Um, anyone care to go next? Kim, Tim?
I'll be honest, I'm pretty much gonna go with what Joe does, because I'm not a builder in any way, Steve. I don't, this is all new to me. But I
Okay.
did read it, and prior did seem a little better, or not better, just seemed a little clearer to me. But after that, it's like, they're all saying the same thing.
There is a lot of that, that's for sure.
Repetitive, so.
Yeah.
But Joe's got building background, so, and you do too, Steve. I'm gonna go with what you guys think is best.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I started to go through them. I was away at least part of last week, so I haven't had a chance to really do a deep dive. But again, not being a builder myself, I would defer to you, Joe, Chris, that have the experience. And if I would, just my feeling is that if there had been problems with that firm in the past with town hall, I would prefer not to consider them. Even
Okay.
though this is a much different and a much smaller project.
Okay.
Just to add into this conversation about that particular vendor, we are actually using them on the canopy project at Town Hall right now, and we have not experienced any issues, just for a different perspective.
Yeah, and I'll tag on to that, just so you know. Again, this is not when Rusty was with QA&M, but this was when Rusty Malik was with Castle Booze. He did the high school. He did the high school, Anna Reynolds, E. Green, Martin Kellogg, and a little bit of work that we did at John Wallace. So and I'm not really trying to sell it, but Mr. Arcari can be an interesting individual to deal with, and that's who Joe dealt with, I believe, on the building committee level with
yeah,
Town Hall.
I dealt with both of them actually.
Did? Okay.
Yeah, I had some dealings early on with our carriers as well in the building process of the town hall. So I know what Joe's talking about, and I too don't have the experience that some of the other members of the group have. So I would defer to your expertise.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
with Kim.
I could do the math. Quisenberry's out. That's pretty simple right now. It's just for a little bit of simple math. I did pick them. I didn't pick them as number 1, but I picked them as one of the 3, just because they're a local firm. Again, I've got a great relationship with Rusty. I've never had any issues with him. But again, I get it if you had a sour taste in your mouth. It's hard to sometimes swallow that and forgive and forget. And then, so I had Fryer also. I think Fryer was one of the leaders by far in his presentation to us so far. And I had Russell and Dawson. Excuse me.
Steve, I've got a question.
Yeah.
I came on the Anna Reynolds project well into the project after when construction was already ongoing. Who did we have for architect and engineering for them?
We had Castle Booze for Anna Reynolds. They were the architect. They were the lead architect.
Okay.
Okay. But again, Rusty left Lou 10 years ago, maybe more. Do you remember? Rusty's been gone for quite a while.
Right.
He's done a couple of different things. He just within the last 5, 6, 7 years joined QA&M. He was with somebody else first, I believe, if I remember right.
That's correct.
I don't think so. I thought he went right from KBA over to,
And you could be right, but I thought I thought he tried to make it on his own, and
yeah, oh, maybe, yeah.
that didn't work out. But again, I guess the only one in that group that I probably would not like to see on it is Antonazzi. Again, more from a professional dealings that I've had with projects that I've worked on. They're just way too slow in responses for me. Takes way too long to get answers to questions. The other 4, I'm fine with. You know, we can pick 2 of them.
Steve,
Yeah.
I was looking at Russell and Dawson too, and can you tell me why you like them a little bit too? Because I was gravitating towards them a bit.
Again, the local outfit have a lot of
Yep.
work done in the state of Connecticut. Did Farmington High School, which is in the process right now.
Mhm.
They're probably halfway through it. A friend of mine is working on that project. I am not, but he's had really good luck over there and speaks very highly of that firm. Lathrop, which is one of the other architecture firms, and they're from out of state. They're from New
Mhm.
York. So I just didn't feel they should be in the mix. To be honest with you, I eliminated 2, so that left 3. That's kind of how I made my choice. Antonazi, I wouldn't pick. And not
Yeah, I
saying
think
that, you know, if the group wanted them, and we interview them, maybe they'll allow me. But
yeah,
I
I
would.
think I'm aligned with your 1 and 2. I just think the third is a little up in the air, but I like your logic, and I think Kim has her hand raised.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, speaking of location, local or Connecticut based versus out of state, I mean, if these are our top picks, I would prefer local. And for a whole variety of reasons, including hopefully there would be a quicker response time, more availability and accessibility, and would have more knowledge of the region and of us.
Yeah, Fryer is Farmington firm, and Russell and Dawson is East Hartford.
Okay, thanks.
I agree with Kim. I think that there's more accountability when they're local and they're part of our communities. That's just me. It's, their reputations are on the line. There's a lot of out-of-state companies all over the place doing contracting work, and I prefer an in-state. Just
I
me.
agree too. I agree with you, Tim and Kim.
Well, let me ask this question then. Do we want to just do 2? Do we want to do Fryer and Russell and Dawson and not do Antonazi, Lathrop, and QA? I mean, QA&M is gone. Again, you read the tea leaves, they don't stand a shot. We shouldn't waste our time.
My
Well, you
question
said
is,
you
do we
weren't-
have the time to look at 3, or are we better off doing a better look at 2 of them and making a better decision?
Well, I can tell you this because I've done it quite a few times. No matter how much time you give them, they're all going to go over. So yes, it will definitely help us. These guys love to talk. They love to sell themselves, and most of them do a really good job. Although I'll give you an example. When we did Anna Reynolds, there was a local firm, state of Connecticut, who they were definitely the lead going in. And he absolutely blew his interview process. It was like it was a different architectural firm compared to the presentation that they gave us going in. So
Hey, Steve,
yeah,
for my take with any of these is how well they work with the construction manager at risk firm. And that sometimes is great. And I assume everyone here, with the exception of 1, can do that. But when you lose that smooth working between the 2, or the architect is 40 yards ahead of where the construction manager is on the thought process, yourself, it gets tricky. So I think one of the questions, not getting into the questions, but one of the questions should be is, what's been your experience with the construction managers at risk that we're proposing? And why has it been good? Or why have there been problems? I think we test them against each other.
yeah, that's fair. I don't have any problem with it.
Fair? Okay.
Yeah, we could definitely do that, Joe.
Looks as
And
though the 3 we've been talking about are Fryer, Lothrop, and Russell and Dawson.
Lathrop is out of town though, or out of state. Pretty sure they're in
Oh,
New
is
York.
it?
Yeah.
They show a
I don't know, I
Hartford
just,
address here, but I don't know that they may have a corporate office somewhere else.
What I found with some of these bigger firms, there's a bigger firm, is you get all the build up in the presentation, and then you never see those people again.
Yeah. Yep.
With Fryer and Russell and Dawson, where you're going to get whoever makes their presentation to us, that's who we'll be dealing with.
Right.
project. And again, remember, this is a kind of a special project. It's not, there's no big design going into this. We're just taking apart a wing that has two hallways on either side of it, moving that hallway to the middle and building classrooms on either side. And that's something we're going to need to stress to them that, you know, that's what we're looking to do here, not reinvent the wheel. We've got $11 million and we can only go so far with that.
I think Chris has his hand up.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, Steve, I jumped in late, but yeah, I would agree with Russell Dawson and Fryer. QA&M, we had some issues afterwards on the backside. Rusty basically joined, if my memory serves me, right around the time that we were going to the state for the town hall project. He was not there at the beginning.
Yeah, I know he was somewhere else. I think he was on his own.
Yeah, and I think he joined late, so I would be satisfied with just doing the two.
Okay. All right. So was that hand up or?
No, that was, I agree.
Okay. All right, then let's do that. We'll do Fryer and Russell and Dawson for architects. And the two other items, CM, we'll do all three. And we'll do the two OPMs. Now, Lauren put out dates.
Yep.
Has everybody had it now? Can you put that? You have something you can put up or no?
Let me go back to that email. Give me one second. But I just wanted to talk really quickly about the architectural and engineering services RFP, RFQ, because there's a little bit different. So I will be setting up interviews for the other two requests for the 3 and 2 firms respectively. But the way that this RFQ goes is now that you've shortlisted it, I have to let them know. They are invited to a site visit next Thursday, August 22nd, and then they are allowed to ask questions, and then they actually resubmit their RFP, because what they've submitted to us right now is the RFQ. So your interviews for these 2 firms won't occur until after that August 30th date, just to let you know.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that?
That's just for the architects.
Yes.
Yes, the other interviews we will work on scheduling and getting those ones done. That way we're kind of doing all 3 processes at the same time, so nothing gets, delayed.
Okay, thanks.
Are you looking for that email, Lauren?
I am.
Okay.
So I just said the week of the 19th. Sorry, it wasn't very specific. I did get some responses that evenings are better for the interviews for next week. So I'm not sure if there's a particular evening that works best for everyone, or if we want to look into the following week as well. We did have a tentative date of just trying to get these other interviews done by August 31st. But if we had to go into the next week after Labor Day, not the end of the world, but if we could look at the week of the 19th in the evening.
Does the week of the 19th work for?
Yeah, it works for me. I'm generally available.
It works for me except Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that's come up that I'm gonna put the kibosh on Tuesday.
So Monday or Wednesday?
Okay.
Anybody else? Would be the 19th and 21st.
The 19th works for me. The 21st, currently am working every Wednesday evening.
Okay.
Until 10, so that wouldn't work for me.
It looks like the 19th is going to be good, but Chris?
I'm actually not available on the 19th to run the meeting for you.
Okay.
What about the 22nd?
Second.
The 20th is a Conservation Commission meeting that I generally attend as liaison.
This is the part that I hate, trying to get a group together for a meeting date. This is the hardest thing going.
I know.
I can make the 22nd work as well.
I can make the 22nd work, so it's not an issue.
Okay, and I'm fine on the 22nd.
I think I can do the 22nd as well.
Great. So
Yes.
we'll do one of them on the 22nd. And then do we want to look into the following week to hold the other Because I think doing 5 on one night is probably going to be a little too much. They tend to go about 45 minutes, and I would book them for an hour on our schedule just so we have a 15-minute buffer in case someone does go over. And I think if you want to do 5 in one night, that might be a very long night for everyone.
We're only going to interview 2 architectural firms.
This is not for architectural. This is for the other 2, for the owner's
Oh.
project.
I'm sorry. So.
Nope, architectural, we have to wait until after
Right.
the
I
RFPs, which
forgot
are
about
not due until August 30th. Yep, it's okay. And
Yeah.
listen, this is really confusing. We've got 3 processes running at the same time, so.
So, yeah, I don't think we can do 5 in one night. We could do 5 if we started at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Or 3
Yeah,
o'clock in the afternoon.
yeah.
You're not gonna, if we started at 5 or 6 o'clock, we'll be here till 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then you can't think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could do the 26th or the 29th.
I can do the 29th. Want to just do 2 Thursdays in a row?
That's fine.
Works for
Everybody
me.
else in agreement?
8:29, I can do it.
Yes.
Great. I will reach out to all the firms tomorrow. And I'll let you know which ones we schedule for the 22nd, which ones we schedule for the 29th.
Beautiful.
What time are we talking about to start the interviews?
Yeah, so what is evening? Again, there was a request for evening. Is that 5 o'clock? Again, the earlier the better, but we have to work around your schedules.
I probably can't do any earlier than 5:30. 6 is better.
Okay,
I would say the same thing, 5:36, Steve.
okay. So
If we could start at 5:30 for the night that we have 3 and 6 o'clock for the night that we have 2, is that okay?
Sure.
Could we do 6 o'clock on the 22nd? Only because I've got a meeting at 5, which I mean, it's not critical for me to be there, but if we could start at 6 on the 22nd and 5:30 on the 29th, that would work better. But I will be completely flexible.
Okay. I will confirm these as soon as I can.
yeah, and then send an email out.
Great.
Okay. Anything else on this item? Going.
That's all I needed for your schedule, so.
Okay. So the next item is any other business pertinent to committee? Does anybody have anything?
Steve,
Yes, Joe?
Joe, in the request for proposals, and I had a loss in the family, to be frank with you, so I wasn't able to go through this stuff the way I would normally go through it, but did we, in the scope of the project, the language specific to the scope of the project, how did we lay that out? What did we state in that?
It basically follows the educational specs,
Okay.
which Lou provided that information.
Yeah.
To Lauren for the
Okay.
RFP, okay? Which we kind of need to because that's the Bible.
Yeah.
And
But to go to your point, it's really building the Berlin Wall where it doesn't exist now for most of the buildings, right?
correct.
And is it still a statistical fact from the first meeting that half of the population of the school have to be relocated during the course of the work, or has that been modified?
Lou, I can't speak to that. I don't believe
Has not
so.
been modified. The specific construction plans will be obviously time and seasonally adjusted. So if we're kicking off in June with 2 wings on shutdown and we only have a limited 8-week possible dislocation for some folks, that'll be like one plan. But if for some reason we can't start in June next year and we don't get started till September 1st next year, then the plan changes. So that will be refined based on, a combination of when you hire the OPM, their due diligence in helping you send in the final version of the ed specs for the project, which will be where our feet will be held to the fire and, for the commitments we made there. Up until then, there's always some subtle changes that are expected and reasonable based on the circumstances.
Because I know you guys are well known for having a plan. That's always a comforting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Thank
this particular school also has that auxiliary gym, which helps greatly. You know. I believe it's the only school that has that in the town. Anybody else before we move on?
And again, I apologize for any delay on my part.
No, Joe, sorry for your loss, and
I appreciate,
sorry to hear that.
thank you, Steve.
It's never easy. As you learn, no matter how old you are, it's still a mother, brother, sister, right? It doesn't matter.
I know you know that, yes.
Okay, next item is public comment. And I believe we still have no one, right? Correct. Comments by members? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Joe. All those, oh, excuse me. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 6:15. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank
night.
Thanks.
You too.
Too.
Thanks, Lauren.
Good night, guys. See ya.
Uh,